Welcome to the Eat, Slay, Live podcast.
And we are the Loxecutioners. We're going to be eating lightning and talking thunder and power bombing you right in the ear holes today. Happy freaking Tuesday? It's freaking Thursday. Happy freaking Thursday. Just so you know, the tornado sirens are going off down here. And luckily, I'm in an entirely glass room, so that should be nice and safe. Give me a C, give me an S, give me a G. What's it? It doesn't really spell anything, but that's CSG Tax Services. That is our sponsor of the month. It is tax season right now. Go see my boy Shay Gardner. Get a hold of him. Take the taxiness out of taxes. We are on number 9 or 10 of thanking people who bought a Kindly Savage t-shirt out of 115 people. I'm combining them today. Today's thank you goes out to Lightning Lane Law. Lightning Lane Law. It is also his freaking birthday. I'm not sure. He's about 70, something like that, aren't you? Lane comes to circuit. He is probably one of the biggest just endorsers of Pride Fitness ever. I'm thinking Lane is about 65, something like that. Still in great shape. Works his freaking butt off. Wears a Pride t-shirt every single place he goes. And I had him on a podcast once. He still holds a Civic Memorial High School record. I think it's in the 2-mile run. I mean, after all these years, still holds a record. It's crazy. So I have what we're going to talk about today is, I hope I don't mess up the name of the award, the Gallatin Awards. I think I got that right. The Gallatin. It's the 77th year, and what that is an award, a local award that recognizes the best female and best male basketball players of the year. They have a huge banquet. It's coming up this Sunday. Today we have a committee member on. I'm gonna bring him on right now. Tim Lowrance. What's up, bud? You're not getting blown away, are you?
No, I'm standing here by the window, though, as you can see, and it's pretty nasty outside.
It is pretty nasty. Now, what's even nastier, though, is you've taken to calling yourself the real people's champ, okay? Now, Tim, I'm going to pull something up real quick, and I think you're actually standing in this picture next to the real people's champ, okay? Now, this is how I remember you. First of all, I met you. I was playing basketball for the Bethalto Boys Club Stars back in the day. Just like we were kind of like the Globetrotters, just going playing different boys clubs. But you were the director of the boys club over in St. Charles. Did I get that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now this is how I remember you. And now I think you're actually standing next to the real people's champ here.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
Now, no more real people's champ than Mr. T, right?
Yep. Now,
Tim, this is how I remember you right here. It looked like it kind of like Dusty Rhodes. Like maybe you just got done with you and Mr. T just did a tag team match over at Wrestling at the Chase. You and Mr. T versus Dick the Bruiser and the Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah. And Michael Spinks was there that night as well.
Michael Spinks. I have a Michael Spinks story, but I'm gonna save that one for a less family friendly podcast. So you're rich in basketball history. I'm gonna pull up some. Here's a little picture of you. Now I think you're number 12 over here, aren't you?
Yeah, you couldn't tell by the belly.
Well, you said that. That not me. So there you are, right there. I think my uncle Mike Rethorn is in this picture, isn't he?
He is not.
He is not. Okay, I got some bad information there.
I can tell you from the left, it's Terry Yates, Dennis Hansen, me, Brian Paris, Bopper Span, George Abel, Mike Harmon, Timmy Owens, and Kevin Owens. Gotcha. And then the coach down here in the front's Rick Hill, the one on the left.
I can tell Rick. Who was the gentleman with the beard?
Mosier was his name. I can't remember. Jay Mosier, I think, was his name.
I gotcha. Also, your son is playing professional basketball overseas.
Yep, over in Romania. It's his third year in Romania, the second year with this team. And he played the first year in Spain. Then he went to Portugal, and now he's been in Romania 3 years.
So what's that like for him? And we're getting this second through you, but what's that like for him playing over in Romania? I mean, is basketball big over there? Do they celebrate, American players?
Oh yeah, they celebrate American players. The funny thing is when we watch it with the live stream, they're always playing Country Road in the background, which we just think is crazy that they played that song of all the songs they could play.
Yeah.
But no, he loves it over there. They treat him like they're basketball players. He plays in the highest league he can. I say it's kind of like the NBA, the Romanian league, because they have 3 different leagues. Like, they have a G League. They have even a league under the G League. But he's in top league.
How now does he live over there full time? Like when the season, how long is the season, and does he stay over there like year round?
Yeah, he goes over there in August, and he won't be home till like May 18th or 20th.
I got you. How many game season do they play?
Oh, they play probably a 40-game season, I would say, 45-game season. It's really weird. They only play like once or twice a week. They don't play like many back-to-back nights or anything like that.
Uh-huh. What is it? What's the name of his team?
You're gonna make me say it. Targay Murrays or something like that. It's TARGUMURES.
I got you. Does he love his life? Does he love doing that?
Oh, he loves doing it, but he's getting married in October, so
a Romanian girl?
Girl from Topeka that he met at Central Missouri. Big, as he says, she's 6 foot tall, and as he told me, he said, "Dad, we might have some 7-footers."
Nice. So we talked about this. So talked about this. Did I say it right? The Gallatin Awards.
Gallatin.
Speech communication major right here.
Yeah.
Gallatin Awards. Now that's named after a local basketball player. Who was that?
Harry Gallatin. He was he's in an NBA Hall of Fame.
He's in the NBA Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was from Roxana, I believe, and he was the AD at both, I think, Carbondale and Eversville at one time. So John Simmons, when he helped us take over because it was Exchange Club Player of the Year for
I remember that
many years, and then they were going to quit doing it, and there's a group of guys that took it over, and John Simmons got it started. He said he wanted to name it the Harry Gallatin Award because since he was a Roxana guy himself, John was.
Roxana has an NBA Hall of Famer alumni.
Yep.
I would have never guessed that. I would pull up here, and this is kind of a memorial to Harry Gallatin.
Yes.
And this is the logo for you guys is award recognizing Riverbend players since 1946. This is the 77th, correct?
Correct.
How many years have you been a part of it?
It's about my 4th year.
4th year.
And I think it's 5 years that group of guys has taken over.
Gotcha. We've had a few of those. Now is Silkwood, is he still on the board?
Yep. Silkwood
on the podcast. I had Steve Porter, a reporting legend around.
Bill Roseberry, who does a little podcast once.
Yeah, my boy Bill, my boy Bill, and then Al Womack, who we've also had the on the podcast. He's the director of the Alton Boys Club and does many great things there.
And then CM star Anna Hall is on it as well.
Well, it's funny you bring up Anna Hall. So I know this is about the Gallatin Awards, but I have to make this a little bit about Pride Fitness. So Anna Hall is she's a 2-time winner, right?
Right.
Yeah. I got let me see if I can pull this up. Here's Anna Hall, 2-time winner, training down at the Thunderdome with me. So thought I'd bring that up. Shout out to Anna Hall. We wanted to have her on here with you, but she is student teaching currently. So the award the ceremony is March 17th, 6 p.m. Now it's down at Julia's Banquet Center, right?
Correct. Down at Julia's, and it's and basically what it is, it's an award for the 5 local schools: East Alton, Wood River, Roxana, Bethalto, Marquette, and Alton. And we give away Player of the Year award at those 5 schools, There's a free throw award. There's a 10% award, and then a team sportsmanship award.
Now, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Jonathan Denny, who has also been on our podcast. Jonathan Denny is going to be the keynote speaker.
Yes, and he was the 91 winner of the
award. That's called the Exchange Player of the Year, correct?
Then it was Exchange Club Player of the Year, and then there was a Locks in 93 who was an Exchange Club Player of the Year, but it was Ty, not Todd.
Well, it's probably I doubt Ross listens to this because Ross did not win the Exchange Club Player of the Year, did he?
No,
I can't remember who won it that year. Do you remember?
Yeah, I can tell you, Travis Williams.
The football player Travis Williams wins the basketball award.
That's what I heard the other night. Somebody said, I said, bro, I can't believe Ross didn't win it. He was averaging 20-something points a game his senior year. And they said, no, Travis Williams won it.
Oh man, that probably, I bet that still stings for Ross.
I'm sure it does.
I know not many people know this, but at Christmas, Ty always brings over the Exchange Club Player of the Year trophy, and we have Christmas at Ross's, and he always brings it over and sets it right down in the middle of Christmas dinner, sets it right in the middle like as a centerpiece, just like as a F you to Ross. So,
well, I'll have to tell you a funny story real quick.
Okay.
So I think the reason I'm on the committee is that the last year of the Exchange Club, the nominees were Mikey Steemack, I forget who it was from Marquette and Wood River, but then it was a kid, Darius Edwards, and then Jacob, my son Jacob. Mm-hmm. Jacob was already the Player of the Year in the Telegraph and the Advantage, and Alton also had Carlos Anderson and Brian Hudson, who were studs. So we thought, well, one of them will probably get it. Well, Darius Edwards got nominated from Alton. Well, he won it. So Jacob's kind of like Ross. He's not a, he
wants nothing to do with the Gallatin Awards.
Right. But he did say he'd come back. He said, they asked him, if you think he'd speak? And I said, oh, he'd speak. And he said, yeah, but he goes, I can tell you, I'm going to have to tell a joke, though.
Okay. So who votes on Player of the Year award?
So each school nominates their MVP.
Okay.
And each one of the schools nominate their 110% award winner. And then what we do, each kid that gets nominated gets a plaque, and then we have a bigger trophy for the actual MVP of those two categories. And then the free throw is just earned, right? You just look at who's got the best free throw percentage.
Correct.
So, and that's how we do that.
Did you say who votes on the winner? Do you guys?
The winner is voted on by several of the committee members. We hit Brent Berklin up and Shawshack and the coaches.
Local media people, and then coaches from the area.
Coaches, and then about 4 or 5 of the board members.
I see. And so how do you have like a list? Like, okay, this is all our voters, or you guys just randomly pick people? How's that work?
No, it's the same 4 from the board, and then it's always those 2 media guys, and it's always the 5 coaches, and then we rank them 1 through 5, and then they get points, and then that's how they win it.
I see. I was going through your list, and again, I gotta brag on Pride Fitness a little bit. I mean, that's what this show is. So I was going through. So I was kind of looking up. So Anna Hall, we mentioned her. She won it twice, and I pulled up Tori Staniford, who trained down at Pride. Kelby Zupan. 1 year. Listen to this. This is a little bragging moment here. 1 year. The male and female trained down at Pride. Sammy Green and Kaylee Eaton. And then, of course, you had Allie Treckler, who won it 3 times. Man, I had a really good picture I wanted to pull up, but I can't find it because I'm not very good at this. So this is something that anyone can attend, correct?
Yes, it's $25 to attend. It provides a meal, and then we also have there's Kelby. Kelby won it a couple years ago. It's $25, includes dinner, and the ceremony starts at 6. Jonathan's going to speak.
I want to go just to hear Jonathan speak. I'm going to send Jonathan a text today and just like, hey man, I'm coming down. Just want to help you get that speech ready, just to make him probably more nervous. But he'll probably he'll probably kill that speech.
He'll knock it out of the park, I think. I think he's got a lot to offer. I think he's been a great coach all these years. Probably the best coach Bethalto's ever had.
Yeah. There's no one more passionate about what they do than Jonathan Denny. That's what I tell people. He had 300 wins at CM, 300 wins, 120 losses, 7 regional championships, 2 sectional championships. So he'll be a great. He's overcome quite a bit of diversity in his. Advocacy. I can't even talk. He's overcome a lot of obstacles in the last few years, so I'm sure he's having great success over at Swick now.
Yeah, they got the right person at Swick. I think I think you could see him if he's interested in moving into somewhere else after he wants to move on.
I see him going big time, don't you?
I think he could be a big time coach.
Yeah, he's running the Southern Illinois Hawks right now, which is the great. I guess you call it elite training basketball or traveling basketball place.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand, and I had people say when Jacob was getting recruited, they'd say, oh, you know what? It's kind of fun if they get to see Jacob at CM. He gets recruited here. People don't understand that don't know basketball. They don't come see you at CM. They see you when you're in Las Vegas playing, or you're in Indianapolis, or you're in Kansas City with your summer teams when they see you.
The showcases and things like that.
Yeah. Yes.
What's your? We're kind of get off subject with. What's your take here, like on just the craziness of youth sports right now? You know what I'm saying? Like you play basketball year round. It never stops. You play baseball, it's year round. It never stops. And it's just these, kids 7, 8, 9 years old, like they're traveling all over the country to play their sports. What's your take on that?
And this is just my opinion, so I'm probably going to get a lot of feedback or smack back. I think it's a money grab, Todd.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think it's a money grab. The parents are saying, "Oh, my kid," and honestly, I'll just give you my example. You had Mike Waldo on your podcast, and my son is going to be 29 this year. My oldest son, Caleb, and when he was 10 or 11, I asked Mike Waldo. I said, "Hey, Mike," I said, "Who's a good pitching coach?" I was hoping he would say him, right? I want to get my kids some pitching lessons, and he looked at me and he said, "I wouldn't waste my money." I'm like, okay. So I didn't get a pitching coach, and probably best advice I ever got. But I think that it's a money grab unless you're at the right program. Give you an example. You go to Gateway Basketball where Jacob played, and they charge you $150, and that's all you pay. They're not just racking in money from training, and they get you the training because it's a real program. So that's what you got to look for, is those kind of programs. But everybody, you don't know when your kid's going to be good. You've seen it at Pride, a kid who might be a little kid, when he's 8, 9, and next thing you know, he's a man.
Right. And the kids that are giants and mature way faster at an earlier age, they fizzle out. You know what I'm saying? They've hit their peak at a young age.
Right. And then they don't get any bigger. They're studs as 7th and 8th grader. And I see it here in Bethalto a lot. We get a kid who's a stud in 7th and 8th grade, and then he don't get any bigger. So then everybody catches him. We had a kid probably 8 years ago. He was a stud. I thought he was going to play on Sundays, and he got big, and then he didn't even play his junior and senior year in high school.
Right. We'll have people contact us down here that, like, with a kid that's like 8 years old and want us to do personal training with them. We always say, I mean, we could make a lot of money probably doing one-on-ones with young kids like that, but we don't do it. It's like, get them out, let them play, let them run around, run sprints, ride a bike, jump, you know what I'm saying? Doing things like that. It's like, they don't need us down here. Like, that would be the best thing for them.
There's an NBA trainer named Drew Hanlon, and he's a Gateway alum, and he trains some of the biggest athletes in the world, basketball athletes, and he does a fundraiser for Gateway. And I tell people, one day he did a fundraiser, and I was at it, had 100 kids in the gym, and he had probably 20 of those 100 were 6-year-old kids, right? Now, they're not basketball active, ready yet, and one kid wouldn't listen. He walked out, and I walked out. I said, "That's got to be frustrating." He said, "Hey, if the mom wants to pay me $100 an hour to babysit a kid, I'll do it."
Right.
Basically, he was, like what he was saying is they're paying me $100 a kid, and it's only an hour-long camp. And basically, mom's dropping him off saying, hey, I don't have to watch him for an hour. And I can say I sent him to a camp. So that's what parents do, I think.
Margaritas somewhere.
Yes. And they're same with you. They're probably saying, hey, I can get rid of him for an hour, an hour, and let Todd handle him.
Yeah. He'll come back a different kid. It's just it just seems like it's thousands of dollars that parents are spending, and just like how many kids actually end up going to college? Not very many. Okay. And then how many stay all 4 years at playing college sports, whatever sport you have? Not many. Not many. No. And the key is that, you got to find the right fit. It's, again, I'll go back to my younger son. He had a couple of D1 guys looking at him, but he had 3 or 4 D2s. He ended up going with Central Missouri. Luckily, we talked to a couple guys that were had been around basketball, and they said, McGuire being one of them, and he said, Jacob, if I was you, I'd go play Division II and play all 4 years. I regret I went to SLU first, and then I went to Northern Kentucky. He said it's not about D1, it's about playing and finding a good fit. Well, he found a good fit. Because whether you play or not, you're still doing everything that the starters are doing. You still got to wake up in the morning. You have 5 a.m. lifting sessions. And basically, when you go to play college basketball, whether you or college sports, anything, doesn't matter the level, you are you don't get a college experience. Your life is whatever sport you choose. It doesn't matter if it's a small college. And if you're not playing, man, that's not a fun life. It's a job. As I tell kids now when they ask me, I say it's a job. Just know when you go away to school, you're basically working. You belong to them. Right. And Jacob, I can remember after about a month, I said, Jacob, you having fun? He said, well, I don't know. And I said, why? He said, well, Dad, I get up at 5 and we go work out. And then I go eat breakfast and go to class till noon. Then I get lunch. And then we go watch film for 2 hours. And then we practice for 2 hours. And then we have dinner. And then we go to study hall. And I get home at 9. I'm exhausted. And that's their plan. So you go to bed. It takes a special kind of person to go play all 4 years at college, especially ones that play smaller ones that you don't see them on TV. They're working just as much as the guys on TV all the time. Exactly. No, they work just as hard. And I respect those kids who go 4 years and maybe only average 4 minutes a game, right? Because like you said, they're doing the same thing that all them starters are, but they're not even getting in the game. And they need those kind of kids though too. Yeah, we've had a lot of kids down at Pride who came here and went all 4 years. Your Hunter Hargraves, who's on his way, Ali Treckler, Zach Kincaid, kids like that. But they're generally just a special breed, And usually when they walk into the gym here and I train them for a while, it's like I can tell who will do it and who's not going to do it, Well, and the other thing I tell people, most kids aren't just they got to have a little talent, natural talent. But all those kids you just mentioned, my son, they all worked at it. You're right. They put the effort and the time in to get better, and they did. And the other thing I tell kids is you need to play at least more than one sport. Honestly, Jacob played football until he was a senior. Once he signed his commitment to play basketball at Central Missouri, he said, Dad, all they do is shoot at my knees. I'm not going to play. And I said, okay. I'll tell you another quick funny story. He's laying on the couch one night. Phone rings, Todd, and it's Yale. Uh-huh. And they said, hey, we want to know if you want to come play football at Yale. And he said, no, I'm not coming to Yale. I'm like, wait a minute. He gets off. I said, is that Yale? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, Dad, they want me to play football. I'm not going to play football. You want me to play football, huh? Yeah. And I said, Jacob, that's not even a real D1. I mean, they're not playing Michigan and Notre Dame. He goes, Dad, I want to walk and talk when I'm 40. I'm not playing football. I said, okay. Yeah. His life would have been a lot different. I mean, he might have got a Yale degree, but it would have been a lot different physically, I'm sure. A couple things I wanted to end with. One, have you seen have you seen my nephew Isaiah play yet? No, I see some highlights. He's a shooter. He is a shooter. And what we were talking about is in the regionals, the first round of the regionals, He's at the top of the key. He's about a foot, 2 feet behind the 3-point line. They throw him the ball with 3 seconds left. Boom, he nails it to win the game. Now he's only a freshman, and people were asking me about that. And that kid has shot that shot thousands and thousands of times.
Right.
He works on his craft constantly. I mean, seriously, he takes 1,000 shots a day at least, and that's all he does. And some people just don't see the hard work that you have to put in to do things like that. To get
they don't understand that he's been in the gym since he was a little kid, right?
Right.
Shooting off the machine or with Ty rebounding.
Right.
That's the sad thing. They don't get to see that. They don't get to see the extra training he puts in it, or maybe stays after practice and shoots another 400 or 500 shots.
Right.
And that's what kids don't understand.
People are asking, like, man, I can't believe he shot that. Like, he didn't even hesitate. Boom, got the ball, 3 seconds left, pops it for the, to win or lose the game. And like, he didn't even hesitate. I go, because it's just muscle memory. He shot that shot so many times in his lifetime.
It's pretty exciting to watch him. I remember when he was a little kid. So
yeah,
I think they're going to do well at Staunton.
Yeah, it's going to be they're going to surprise some people in the next couple of years.
I think in the next, yes.
Now let me ask you this, and we'll take my brothers out of the equation. Who's the top 3 high school players you've seen from this area? I'm not talking all over the state or all over the country, just in sort of the Riverbend area. Who's the top 3 players you've seen? And we didn't really talk about this, but you're like a high school sports connoisseur. Like, I could name anybody on that exchange, like the list of who won, and you could probably give me some sort of fun fact about them. But
Larry Smith's probably the best guy I ever saw play in person.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Larry Smith from all.
Larry Smith, who went to U of I, played.
Took him to a Final Four.
Yep.
And Larry Smith. There's one fun fact about Larry Smith. They were ranked 8th back in, I think it was 86 or 87.
8th in state, that's Alton High.
Yeah, at Alton High. They were ranked 8th in state, and we played them in the regional final here in Bethalto. And Doug Carey hit a shot to win the game at the buzzer. But what was unique was that Larry Smith fouled out of that game on 5 charging fouls.
Where was the game?
Bethalto.
I'm not saying. I'm just.
I will say this: all 5 of them were charging fouls.
They were definitely. You're saying like they were legit calls. That's what you're saying.
And there was a kid named Mike Walker. That was his job, was to get 5 charging fouls on Larry Smith. He would just stand in the lane when he'd come in, and he was a dunker, and he'd just slide over and take the charge.
I've never heard that stat.
He fouled out on 5 charging.
I'm sure a lot of people in Alton know.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Give me 2 more.
Probably, that I seen would be probably McGuire and Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Were really good. And I was gone when Ross played, because Ross would probably be in there. And I was actually at the boys club, I think, when Ty was at Lindenwood. So I never really got to see Ty play much either, because I was gone. But those guys were all players. Frankfurt was really good. And they had a triple overtime game that, I think, his senior year or junior year, when they played in the Coca-Cola shootout, and they had a triple overtime game over there. That was still one of the biggest games of the day over there.
Going back to my nephew Isaiah, Ty, when I was watching Ty a senior year, I felt like he would take 2 steps across the center line and just shoot up a 3. I felt like he had 1,000 3-pointers. He broke the school record. I can't remember what it was. He just told me the other day. It was like 79 or 80. It was somewhere between 79 and 81. Okay. Right. So I'm like, wow, that was crazy. I just, like, seriously, I felt like every shot he made was a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Well, Isaiah, he had 101.
I was gonna say he's got 100 something, because I saw it the other day.
He had 101. I saw the other day, like Collinsville's, someone just broke their record. Richard Keene had it, who went to U of I, right?
Richard Keene, yep.
Yeah, he had the record, and a kid just broke it, and it was also like 80 something. So anyway, I'm just bragging on my nephew just because I love him. So
I'll just do the math on just his 3-pointers. That's 1,200 points.
Yeah.
Just on 3-pointers. So think how many points he's got an opportunity to score.
Right, exactly.
And they got a bunch of shooters up there.
They do have a bunch. They do have a bunch of shooters.
I think they're really going to be good in at least 2 years. His junior and senior year, at least.
Yeah,
if not sooner. But yeah, they did you play with Ty at the club when we had the alumni league?
I played. Yes, I did. Yep.
And we used to do battle all the time, and you hacked the crap out of everybody.
Those Sunday night alumni basketball games. It was like watching those old NBA games back in the 80s where they were just fighting and throwing each other. Well, when we used to play in that Bethalto Stars I was talking about, where I first kind of knew you, and over in St. Charles, we would get in a fight almost every game.
Was you at the game when Billy Pining ran the kid up on the stage?
Pining was on my team. He just shouldered this kid, and it was on. I think we played them again. The cops, we had cops.
Well, that kid, he ran into the stage. Because I told him when they went over, I said, "Hey, don't get in no fights over there. I don't want to hear it." And then they called me and say, "Man, we got in a fight. There was a big fight at the game." Well, the kid that Billy ran into the stage, it just had just got a new kidney. And then Billy ran him into the stage, so everybody was a little protective of him. I still see Billy, and I said, "Yeah, Billy, you started that fight."
Hey, that was so fun. Mike Dreeth, R.I.P. to Mike Dreeth, the legend. He was the coach of the team, and we had so much. I think my punching percentage was better than my shooting.
Yeah. The other exciting thing in CM basketball history is, I don't know if you remember. You were probably too young when we had a melee in the gym against Jerseyville.
I had just transferred to Bethalto from Calhoun, and I was in Jeff Whaley's threw that ball right. Smashed
Derek Dunham's face. He was going to Missouri.
Yeah, that was a hell of a throwdown.
and so here, let me tell you a quick story about that coach from Jerseyville. Me and Jeff Whaley were on the school board, and we interviewed for superintendent. And this guy comes in from North Green, and he's talking. He said, "Yeah, I'm familiar with the MVC. I used to coach basketball at Jerseyville. But because of an incident that happened at CM, I got out of coaching." And me and Jeff Whaley start snickering.
Yeah.
And he looks at me, and I go, "He threw the ball."
Oh, man.
And that guy just looked at us like, "Oh, I'm not getting this job."
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, the awards are this Sunday, 6 p.m. They're down at Julia's Banquet Center in East Alton. They, like I said, start at 6 this Sunday. Jonathan Denny will be the keynote speaker. You say it's $25? Is that correct?
Yes, $25.
Does a meal come with that?
What's that?
Does a meal come with that?
Yeah, dinner comes with it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you coming down?
I'll be down there. I got to hear Jimmy speak. It's a fun event, folks. Go down, and it's a great way to just support local athletes and support this program, the Gallatin Awards, who do this for kids and recognize the hard work that some of these kids put in. So,
and we only have one fundraiser, Todd. We have a trivia night every year at Lox's Brick House, and that's our only fundraiser. And then we get some sponsors, and that's it. We don't nickel and dime you to death. We just also, let me give a quick shout out though to our 4 big sponsors, which are Tom Lane.
State Farm Insurance.
Is he a giver or what?
He is a giver.
And WBGZ.
The Big Z, Nick Dar, my boy, yeah. Nick Dar. He's missed a few shows.
Yeah, and Mark Hawkeye Systems and Fisher Lumber. That's awesome. Anyway, and everybody gets a t-shirt. Like they used to give them basketballs. I think that people, all the nominees, like for all the different awards, but now they get a pretty cool t-shirt, right? Yeah. Well, every year they gave away 10 boy balls and 10 girls basketballs, and so only 20 kids got something. This year we decided to give them all shirts. And here I don't know if you can see the where I got to move to see that. There it is. That's the logo. Yeah,
how bad you look trying to do that. Like you're on the wrong shoulder.
I got some ants in my pants, don't I?
You were grabbing the wrong shoulder. Anyway, Tim, thank you. I mean, you guys put in a lot of time for this. People don't realize it. I mean, you're not getting paid to do any of this. You know what I'm saying? You guys put in a lot of time recognizing, these kids that put in all the work, you and Bill and Anna and Steve Porter and the guys. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for coming on the show. Have a great weekend. We'll see you down there Sunday night. Everybody, thank you for listening to the Daily Growth. Thanks for growing with us, and slay on. Thanks, Tim. See you, brother.
Thanks for having me.